Welcome to the SABC News. With me is the former chairperson of the EFF, Advocate Dali Mpofu. We'll be sitting with him to talk about a range of issues, particularly the political space. Yes, he is a lawyer, but of course his work is certainly tied with his political work. In today's interview, in the main, we'll be more reflecting on the latest developments, on his political work, on the future, on what is currently happening.
Thank you, Mzai. It's always a pleasure, and thanks for inviting me.
Just a quick one. What do you think about the current state of affairs, given that we have a new government, new in inverted commas, the government of national unity? I know some of the people you are representing are opposed to that, but what is your own view as the former chairperson of the EFF and someone really who has a lot of political credentials?
My own view is that is opposed totally, with every bit of blood that I have, totally opposed to the so-called government of national unity. Because in my view, it represents 10 steps backward. It represents a total sell-out position where there was an alternative for the ANC at least to have aligned itself with the progressive forces. And you know, Mzwai, there are certain things that you might say you are doing for tactical purposes and so on. But there are certain things that you must never do. I ask the rhetorical question. The DA represents, and the Freedom Front represent the forces that are against progress, against transformation, against equality, against redress of the past imbalances, against land redistribution. So how can you unite? How can you say you have unity with those people?
But I think the ANC, maybe to be fair to the ANC, they did not necessarily say we want to work with particular parties. They said this will be a government of national unity, that we invite everyone, but other parties said we can only serve in that government if so and so is not there. So perhaps let's give a bit of credit to the ANC that it tried to get everyone in.
No, that's not true. That's a fallacy. That's the kind of story that they want to sell. The DA was the very first party last year, I think, in their Congress, to say they will not work if there is the EFF. They will not be party to that. Subsequently, then MK was formed. Then they added MK to say they will not work with MK and the EFF. So if that was what motivated the ANC, then they shouldn't even have bothered to phone the DA, because they knew already that they are excluding significant players.
But if you government advocate, you represent everyone. Once the elections are over, it doesn't matter who voted you into power. You are the government of all. And I think from the ANC's point of view, my thinking was that, yes, we did not get the outright majority, but we want to work with everyone because at the end of the day, we will be representing every South African.
No, but that's what I'm trying to explain. That was impossible. How could they work with everyone when the DA said they will never work with the EFF and MK? So by the time they approached the DA, they knew that stance. So they never had any genuine intention to work with everyone.
Okay. What do you think should have happened in your view?
No, I think that the progressive forces, that would be the historically progressive forces, the ANC, MK, and the EFF, should have been the ones that unite our people. Remember, those three organizations in particular, we say they come from the same umbilical cord. You know, the leaders of the ANC, EFF, and MK 10, 15 years ago were in the same organization. So it should have been the easiest thing to do that. And I'm saying that because I personally, I am very much invested in the issue of black and progressive unity. So when an opportunity presented itself for such unity, it will always be a tragedy that it was thrown away primarily by the ANC.
There's something that is also interesting about you as an individual. Being the member of the EFF, and representing people in the MK. Do you still subscribe to the EFF as you did 11 years ago?
Well, that's a very interesting question. I can put it like this. People have asked that question. My own view has always been that the EFF played a very significant role in even creating the current conditions. To be fair to the EFF, even MK, when they knocked the final blow into the ANC now, found a very soft target, if you like, because the EFF did the difficult work for the past 10 years. And the philosophy of the EFF of economic freedom cannot be faulted. However, I am of the view now that the party that really represents my own passion for the much needed unity is MK. And I say that because MK has been so far true to the message of fostering unity. And I am of the very, very strong view that the road to our total liberation cannot be found except if you go through the bridge of total black and progressive unity.
Okay, let me just get you very clear, Advocate Mpofu. You have just said your view is that total liberation would be achieved through MK. Are you telling me that you are considering joining MK or wanting to work with MK? I just want you to be very clear there.
No, it's much more serious than that. I have taken after a lot of soul searching, I've taken a decision that I will be joining MK. And as I say, I'm joining MK because I believe that it is the vehicle through which we will achieve the much needed black and progressive unity. So I'm doing so not necessarily to reject any other organization. In fact, in a strange way, I always say I regard myself as what you would call a utility player. A part of me, I was in the ANC for 33 years, so a part of me will always be in that organization. I was in the EFF for 11 years, so a part of me will always be in that organization. And when I say a part of me, I mean that I've worked for those organizations, I've invested in them. But at this point in time, in November 2024, I am of the view that the vehicle through which we should drive that unity is Umkhonto weSizwe, because it represents a much broader vision for decolonization, total liberation, and it carries the potential to unite our people more than any other alternative at the moment.
But the EFF speaks the language that is very similar to the MK. And the MK, just came to the fore now. It's not even a year. It will only be a year old next month. So what really made you, I hear you talking about black unity, total liberation, but the fact of the matter is that the EFF does speak that kind of language. So I'm not able to make sense of why you chose a Mercedes versus a BMW. I'm just making...
I hear you.
Yes.
No, I hear you. Let's put it like this. As you've already said, I've been in the game of politics for a long time, almost 50 years now. And so the role of a politician or a revolutionary at that is to take the shortest possible route to the destination of liberation. I'm not one of those people who think that, you must die in the ANC or die in the EFF or even die in MK.
But your new leader believes he's still ANC though.
He is, just as I believe I'm still ANC and EFF and MK. So see, that's the nuanced message that I think everyone misses. When former President Zuma says, I'm a member of the ANC, but I'm also a member of MK, at face value, that looks ridiculous. But if you know South African politics, you'll be able to hear what he's actually saying. What he's saying is that you cannot throw away all those decades of struggle, and that the ANC has deviated from the destination, as I've said. And therefore, in order to look beyond organizations, and really that's the most central message I want to send, which is to say, let us look beyond organizations. You might have a preference to be in the ANC. The next person might be a preference to be in the EFF, and someone like me might have a preference to be in MK. For whatever reasons you prefer each of those three organizations. But the most important thing is that we must not venerate the organizations as if they are demigods. The organization and the leaders, for that matter, will come and go. But the cause of our people must always be paramount. That is what must drive us. It is the cause. Is where I am now going to bring about the cause for our people quicker or not? If you ask that question and your answer is ANC, stay there. If you answer that question and your answer is EFF, stay there. If your answer is MK, stay there. But at all times, don't be fixated in that organization. You must have one eye on building that organization, obviously, but the other eye must always be on making sure that the movement of our people is not jeopardized. And that is why I'm saying at this point in time, I am, after a lot of thought about this, I am totally convinced that the vehicle that will galvanize all of us together in a quicker fashion is Umkhonto weSizwe. Does
Floyd have anything to do with your move?
No, Floyd actually has nothing to do with the move. Ironically, we were joking about it, I think, after the elections. Ironically, I am the one who was convincing the leadership of the EFF, even before the elections, about this. And some of them were skeptical. But to his credit, Floyd...
Convincing the leadership of the EFF about?
About this cause of unity. That we should work together.
That you are joining MK?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying convincing the leadership of the EFF and other organizations, by the way. Maybe let me take one step back. Something that your viewers might not know is that there was a time when former President Zuma and I were the only people who knew about this project of the formation of MK, because we had discussed after the 2022 conference of the ANC very in depth as to what needs to be done, and we had various options, and so this discussion took about 12 months. So by the time you attended the launch in December of MK, this had been a project that was in the pipeline, in the underground, as he revealed, for about 12 months.
Advocate Mpofu, I just need to get you very clear. So, were you part and parcel of the formation of Umkhonto weSizwe?
Absolutely. For a few months, as I say, there was a time where probably it was just me and former President Zuma who knew about this. And then it moved to a stage where we involved a few other people. In August, we held a meeting with 10 leaders, and you can interview all of them. 10 leaders, and another meeting in October of 2023, including leaders of the EFF, leaders of the PAC, UDM, ATM, Areta. At that time there was an organization like that, and
House, that he was leading then,
yes, and the Godi's outfit, the APC. Yes, so all the organizations, Azapo was there. I chaired the meeting of all those leaders, and was trying to sell this vision. And President Zuma was present.
Does the EFF know that its member, or now you're no longer the member now, but back then you were the member of the EFF. Do they know that you were central in the formation of another political party?
Yes. No, that fortunately, at my level of political involvement, I cannot play double games. So every step of the way of this project, I was reporting to the EFF leadership.
Have you informed the EFF leadership, particularly Julius Malema?
Well, as it happens, it was a happy coincidence because when I was busy going to write my resignation letter, I happened to speak to the secretary of my branch to check, and he said, well, in any event, he wanted to call me. In fact, he had sent someone to say I needed to renew my membership. So my membership had lapsed, so there was no need to do any resignation. So I just said, well, if my membership has lapsed, then I'm free to make the announcement. And so some people will find out.
Here's the question. Have you informed the leadership of the EFF, particularly Julius Malema? Given that the nature of relations, I mean, you've always been with them together. That's the reason why I'm asking.
No, I haven't, to be fair, and I have tried to reach out to him. But, it's not, there's no need to inform anyone at any particular time. I'm sure there's no bad blood, so we will talk.
As a courtesy?
Yes, as a courtesy, I'll extend that courtesy even after this announcement, and I'm sure that our paths will meet in this journey, this difficult journey for unity. And as I say, there's nothing personal in this at all. It's not anything that is being done against a particular person. It's something I'm doing for my people.
Well, there was Advocate Dali Mpofu there who has just, for the first time, announced that he is leaving the EFF and joining MK. And interestingly, he's always been central in the formation of the MK.